Once again, all players returning.
Hey, buddy.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, perfect. Hey, Tom. Two of you are here. You can start all your bags now, guys.
Yeah, good. Morning, mate. Oh, how are you? Yeah. I went home Thursday. I've learned from mistakes. No, normally it's Thursday, it's like but no.
I have one, Tom, and you're going to have to look at this. But for good button draw, yeah?
I was looking forward. I tried. Oh, how I tried in the when they announced 5 hands left. Well, you know, Midi. How you define punt and I define punt is a lot looser. I was ready to come in, blast it in, get the trade, and now I'm just going to have to like actually fucking make decisions.
You go to Australia and stuff. What's going on there? Oh, God, yeah. How many of those things you got left? That's not that long, really.
Yeah, sure.
That's not that long, really.
No, it's not. Basically, if it gets to...
Don't start on me, look at this. Good morning and welcome to day 2 in Manchester. This is an incredible sight. Check this hands out, I tell you what, break my arm. Don't watch my arm. Nice to see you, John. Hey, mate, I tell you what, this is going to be a feature table. Look, quick word. Here we go. Morning, young man.
That's what I do, I ain't got it.
You haven't got what?
No ID.
You got no ID?
I'll tell you, I've got a bank.
He knows, we know who he is. There.
Bank card.
That'll do. Bring your ID for day 2s, please. That's all we ask. We need to know who you are, so you can win millions, like these two. Look at this, what a seat draw this is. You fixed this together, you two, haven't you?
Well, when me and him sit next to each other, we always do well, so hopefully it might be a good sign again.
This table. I fear for the rest of the table. I really do. Rich, what have we done since London?
Since London, poker-wise?
Yeah.
Oh no, I've not really been playing. No, I was due a break. I played a lot last year, so I needed some time off.
Time off. Weird.
Yeah.
This is looking like, oh, look at this. What a fish to your left-hand side. What a fish to your left-hand side. Oh, Rig is in the building. This is going to be great. Have a good day, boys. Have a go. Quickly wander around everywhere. That's where a feature table used to be, but now that's the amazing setup. Woody, how are you, young man?
Good, mate, good.
What's happening?
Alright, bit rough. Decent. Naughty kebab
Get
last
away.
night. Yeah, a few pints and we've been for a sauna this morning to try and get out me and Rigger.
Decent bag up yesterday.
Yeah, good day. Good day. Second bullet. First one was no good, but second one got going, so hopefully good.
Decent start for day 2.
Yes, good.
Come on, son. Deep run from you. Deep run. I'm going to try and quickly run over there, but this is mental. There are 110. That means 7 buy-ins at this moment for day 2 because we had 103. Well, look at this for a table. Hand-picked table, this one. This should be on feature table. But to be fair, by far the best looking table in the room. no word of a lie. This is the best table, a hand-picked table. We need spots, Chris. We need spots, son.
We need quite a few. It's fine, we can do it.
Look at that. Just look into the gaze into the eyes of seat number 8. Just gaze into the eyes.
He's not there yet. And that one. Go spot.
Fingers crossed.
Let's go.
Fingers crossed. We can do it. We know we can. Kev Houghton's always got chips. Sit next. This is the only chance I get a chance to sit next to Sam Grafton. All right, young man. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, good.
I saw you in Australia. I saw the videos of you and Gigi talking away, and she got you in Brisbane.
Yeah, exactly. We had a little chat after. Mate, I won a little tiny little tournament in Brisbane.
Yes, you did. Well done.
Yeah, Brisbane's a nice place to spend time now.
Nice when it pays for the trip.
I mean, it didn't pay for the trip. The expenses have gone up, Tower, since the early days. So, but yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
It's nice to get around. You're a well-known figure, and it's good to have you in Manchester.
Yeah.
Did you fall asleep on the train on the way up?
I'll never miss GUKPT Manchester. This is my favourite.
This is where the Cordys are turned up, and and Matt Paddington when it all started and all.
Yeah,
that,
sure.
You know.
This was.
Where are they around here?
Mate, what's happened? We're still here, Tower, aren't we? We're still grinding.
Absolutely.
We've still got the work ethic. I don't know what happened to everyone else.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Saw you on the live stream yesterday, so fingers crossed for another good day.
You were commentating?
We were there in the background.
Were you not? We
were in the back.
Were the fans loving it? What were people saying?
They just love the chatter.
Yeah.
They love the chat, so fingers crossed we'll get you back on there. Because
when we do the Hall of Fame,
Yeah,
you'll be early nomination, Tower.
Oh, there you go. That's why we've always said he's a decent guy, this fella. Sam, have a good day, buddy. God, I can't move these chairs. I tell you what, they're like bricks. We are just about to start day 2. Dina's going to start proceedings. We're going straight over to the feature table. 110 by the looks, and another record breaking Manchester GUKPT. Jay, it's over to you.
Thanks, Tower. Good afternoon, everyone. We are back for day 2 here in Manchester. We had 7 entries buying in today, bringing up the total to 317 entries for the tournament. 317k prize pool. We're going to have a confirmed prize pool for everyone out soon, and we are just about to get underway. How are we doing, Tower?
Good morning. Yes, busy card room, as we saw on the quick pan of all the room, and I've already been made unemployed and made to the T-boy for the first level. I don't mind that at all. Can you just introduce yourself to the world, young man?
Hey, I'm Tim Chung.
Former champion, all-round good guy.
Yeah, sure. I'll take the all-round good guy.
Absolutely. Tim's going to be joining Jay for the first hour. He's coming. How did you grab on him? Did you just? Was it just an?
No,
next
we were
race,
just talking this morning, and said he fancied coming in. I said he can come in and do some comms. And
absolutely.
He couldn't believe he came in first thing he sees, so he did not expect the place to look this good.
He's right.
I tell you what, we get thrown into some places, us. Tim is going to be with Jay for the first hour or so. It's good to listen to him, and we're going to end up as a T-boy. So that's me. And Jay, it's basically over to you, son.
Yeah, lovely. So going to run you through who we got on the featured table today. In seat 2 is going to be James Jagger. Seat 3, Ben Dobson. Seat 4 is Middy, Tom Middleton. Seat 5, Thomas Hall. Seat 6, Chris Flint. Seat 7, Carl Shaw. In 8 is Nick Filoni, and in 9, Keith Johnson. It's a good table to start the day. A few notable names.
Don't think you could have picked a tougher table, almost. I literally don't think you can have a tougher table if you just made one up, almost.
Yeah, it is probably one of the tougher tables straight away. Tom Hall is going to be all in here with the Jack 10 suited for just over 10 bigs, and going to get a call because James Jagger with the ace queen hit. So action straight away. James just ISOing Ben behind with just over 20 bigs, and first hand got an all in.
7, 8, 9 with 3 hearts.
That sounds fair. I'll take that one. Yeah, alright.
And Tom finds a 10 on the flops. It does take the lead, just needing to avoid an ace or a queen now. Jack's now out for the ace queen, but 10, no good. 5 on the river. So Tom Hall's going to double up first hand up to 26k. Assuming you played a lot of poker with Tom in seat 5, Tim.
Played a lot of poker with a lot of these
Lot
guys.
of them.
Carl, Mitty, James, Keith, Ben. Yeah, pretty much most of them. More than half the table. I think I played most with Carl though.
What happened yesterday? Was it just one of them days, or we saw you on the feature briefly? And
Bluffed it off basically.
Yeah.
Decent spot, but got called. So I don't regret it too much, but yeah, wouldn't say I'd do it again, but I would do it again, but I wouldn't do it again.
one of them. Morning, all tuning in. Morning, Gary. Morning, Grizz on Twitch. Carpet Catcher on Twitch, and Nozza on Twitch. Yeah, Sam Grafton still in the field. Blinds coming back today, 6 and 12. Like we mentioned, 7 day 2 buy-ins, 16 bigs. For those guys, we did have both Fraser McIntyre and Ludo final table in this event last year off of a day 2 buy-in. So much certainly can be done. Blind on blind here. Ben going to raise it up. 3x with the Queen 8. Mitty going to flat the Queen Jack.
Yeah, I think it's too loose of an open for sure. I'll just probably be limping this or raising some weaker players.
King 8 the flop. 2 spades, 1 club.
Should just be bet and call a lot.
Yeah, Mitty's not going to fold this flop to 1 bet. As predicted, does go bet call. 8 on the turn, so Ben does turn a boat here now. Going to come in for a check.
Should just go check and maybe check again.
A boat on the board, so you're going to chop this up. If we get to showdown, which we should do. And Ben just moves all in and snap fold from Mitty. Can credibly jam. Hands like 9s, 10s, jacks, queens and aces there as well. I think first time you've been here doing comms, is it, Tim?
Yeah.
I know you see it a lot, but
no, first time. I'm either going to give you free information or false information. You just got to pick.
Morning, Mark Physic in the chat. Brian Turner asks, is Ali Malou still in? Yes, he is. Was on fire last session of the day. Ben can open the King 6 here on the button. Once folded to him, makes it 2.5, just over a min click. Tom not going to be going anywhere here with his hand in the big. And going to defend. Heads up. Eight, 8-3, 2 spade flop. The King 6 still out in front here. Ben probably going to have lots of bets on this board. Does come in for a continue, and that should be that for the hand. Yeah, Mark, it is Tim Chung I'm joined by. what's planned for the year, Tim? You travelling anywhere, playing anywhere?
Yeah, I just got back from travelling ananyway. But
You went to LA, didn't you? LA.
I was in LA, came back for Christmas, went to Australia for Aussie Millions, went to Asia for a little bit, and now I'm hiding from the virus. So. But I was planning to go back to LA in April, but now it seems a bit messy, so I'm not really sure. But go to Irish Open first and then see what happens.
Yeah.
Small chance World Series gets cancelled too, so.
I think there's a small chance. I know it's, but I just can't see how it's going to be cancelled. I know everything going on, but
yeah, I mean it gets cancelled depending on not the casinos. It cancels depending on Vegas. You know, if they stop people from coming in or whatever. Because Macau were closing out all their casinos.
Were they?
Yeah, so in the last month or two, like casinos just weren't open for anyone. So, I mean, it could happen to Vegas too.
So Keith raising to 2.6, 9-7 of spades.
Yeah, this is way too loose. Keith's generally pretty tight, but this is too loose in my opinion.
On this table as well, I think.
I mean,
like
sure,
yeah.
Yeah, there are definitely tables I would open that for sure, but then this one just isn't one of them.
Yeah, sorry.
So it looks like going to be a walk here for Carl in the big blind. Plenty going on today, guys, as well. There will be probably cash games running from about 5-6 o'clock. We've got the side event, £250 Texas Hold'em, which starts at 4. That usually gets a really nice turnout. You get a lot of players who usually bust the main on day 2 flicking into that, as well as players that just come down to play the side. Betting ace king of hearts, going to open. Not sure what's going on with the graphics.
We know Nicholas has 2 9s, we just don't know how much he's got.
Yeah, 9's in the big, so I think he's got around 80k here. Nicholas, start the hand.
Yeah, I think I'll just be calling 9s. I think Ben has 25, maybe more bigs, 25 bigs, I don't know.
Oh no, Nick, 50k.
Yeah, I'll just be peeling versus Ben's there, for sure.
7-4 deuce rainbow, so overpair for the 9s of Nicholas. So Ben actually just flattered the ace king here in the small.
No, Ben's not in the small.
Okay, so the graphics
graph it,
yeah, oh yeah, I can see, yeah. Just have to bear with us, this hand, guys. There we go. Hopefully it'll be rectified now. Still got Ben in the small, but
Yeah, I don't really like Ben's call. Like, it's not going to get single barreled, it's going to get double barreled a lot, and we just can't continue, and we just don't really improve. And I would just like him betting the flop, actually. Like, I think it's a. I would say it's mainly I would say it's more of a value bet, I guess. Like, or ace high is going to continue some weak draws. He's rarely going to have a deuce. Not that often he's going to have a four. Sometimes he has a seven, and we have a lot of backdoor draws. I'd just be betting flop a lot, and just folding out the 35% is good too. Folding out the queen jack and jack 10 is good.
Morning, Mark on Twitch, just tuning in.
Andrew just jams 20 bigs under the gun. It's way too loose.
You're better to come in for an open there with the ace jack suited.
Yeah.
We've actually got a confirmed prize pool here, guys, for the main event. 28 places are going to be paid. Min cash 2,170, and first place going to be taking home £86,350. So just under 10% of the amount of entries paid. What do you think of these structures, Tim, when they're pretty top heavy?
I think it's good, although like basically whenever I win, the prize pool shafts me, and so it always happens that way. Whenever I win, it's like it'll be like 70k up top when I win, and then when I min cash, it'll just be like it just doesn't really happen. But I think it's better more up top, to be fair. But yeah, I mean, it depends. Like, obviously, the pros want more up top, and then everyone, like, you can't really, target everyone. Some people would want more places paid, and they want to play again, and then it's one of those.
So Ben, ace king again here, raises to 2.5. Carl going to flat the jack 10 suited in the cutoff. And Nicola's going to come along on the button, unknown holding. Andrew passes the queen deuce in the big freeway action to the flop. Ten, 9, 5, 2 spades. So top pair here for Carl. Ben going to come in for a check. Expect Carl to be betting this a lot of the time. After flopping top pair, some nice backdoors with our hand as well. It's about 3.2. Nicola's going to call, and now Ben with the ace king can just get out of the way. Deuce diamonds on the turn. Going to have some flush draws here, potentially Nicola's some Broadway holdings, 2 overs gut shot. Jack queen most certainly in there. 10x, some 10x itself.
Yeah, I think I'd go for another smallish bet here, probably like 5k, I think. Protect from a little bit of stuff, get some value from some potential 9x. Yeah, I don't really like checking here too much. It's just gonna be check behind a lot, and giving king queen a free card, king jack a free card, some flush draws for free as well. I don't really see us getting raised here. I think we get raised on the flop way more often if he has a good hand, so I think we should just be betting.
definitely going to be calling now as Carl facing this third pot bet from Nicholas.
Yeah, I don't think we gain too much by checking the turn, I think, in this spot. If he has a better hand, he's going to be betting, and if he has a flush draw, he can choose to check back, so then he doesn't need to pay for it. And if he chooses to bet it as well, it's the same as if we bet it ourselves, and you give 7, 8, 3, 6 outs, or, well, 5 outs. And
it's not actually a bad river, this. The ace, ace X of spades gets there, but a lot of the time, if we had the best hand on the turn here, as Carl was still going to be good on the river. Nicholas looks like a little glance down at the chips.
yeah, I think if Nicholas bets here, I think Carl is most likely not folding. I guess he assumes his opponent's not going to be value betting King 10. He should, but I don't think he thinks his opponent would.
So about 12k into 26k, so just under half pot here from Nicholas.
Like, I feel this is just going to be King 10, King Queen a lot, King Jack sometimes, some 7, 8s. I personally would not be folding, but, and I love to fold, so.
As we saw yesterday. Value hands here for
it would just
Nicholas,
be Ace X of spades, like Ace 9 of spades.
Ace 9 of clubs.
But I don't see. I see some people just check back Ace X of spades a lot anyway. Like, not everyone, but you know, given population tendencies, like I feel like given that sometimes that does happen, I don't feel like I'm folding this. And I feel like people will see an ace and they think, oh, I can bluff even more, but it's actually a better card for us. Not exactly better for us, but you know, it doesn't really improve us. It makes our range actually weaker than what it was before. Before we can have some Queen 10s, King 10s. Now we just have less aces, I guess. I mean, we have more aces, but I don't think, yeah.
We'll never know. We'll never know what Nicholas had, but probably one of them hands mentioned by Tim, one of the King Queen, King Jack, 7, 8 type of holdings. But as mentioned, this ace, not really a card that's ever going to hit Nicholas on the river, and if he's not the type of player who's going to go for thin value with King 10, Queen 10 potentially in that spot, then can make the call. Nice call.
Yeah, usually if I choose to call, it's probably a good one. I don't normally like to pay people off, so. But yeah, that was a good call by Carl. Sussed it out. Not sure his exact thought process, but I guess similar.
Question here from Mark. As a high level player, what's Tim's view on multiple re-entries?
I guess he's talking about me, but I personally don't like re-entries. I mean, you know, if you're good, of course, you're going to use it, but I think overall for the game, I don't personally enjoy it. For many reasons. It just takes out so much of the actual poker aspect of the game. It doesn't even become almost doesn't become a poker game anymore. It just becomes like a, you know, I wouldn't exactly say a math game, but like, you know, we're just running our equities a lot and spinning it up and stuff, and you know, because a lot of people say, oh, I'm rebuying or whatever, and I don't care about the money, etc., etc. It's like, yeah, so when people don't care about the money, they care about the game, but then you don't need to care about the game anymore because you can just rebuy. So, like, if everyone was allowed one re-entry, like, you know, no matter who you are, you're going to take it pretty seriously, you know. Yeah. Exactly, if I can only do something once a year or whatever it may be, like, I'm going to play pretty good. Like
the WSOP main event, one entry, and
I like playing games in general, like whatever it may be, and you know, I'm pretty competitive. Like, you know, you can play a game of football and not bet money on it and stuff, but you know,
still want to win.
Yeah, you really want to win, but obviously if you can just re-enter, you just don't care, and then you just don't put pressure on the people like you used to. You know, part of it is pressure. You don't want to lose. There's a lot of people that don't care about the money; they care about being embarrassed. They want to win, they don't want to lose, and so I feel like having re-entries, it just takes that out of the game so much that you just can't put pressure on people going all in when people can know, I can just re-enter. But if this guy's thinking, do I want to travel all this far to play like a few hands and then go home? He's going to be thinking twice. Like, it doesn't matter how much money you have. So that's what I think the disadvantages are for people with less money, not the fact that they can't rebuy or the fact that other people can rebuy, but it doesn't give you the chance to really bluff the guy with a lot of money. Obviously in cash games I never think it's a good idea to bluff someone with a lot of money, but in a tournament, if you can't re-enter or there's no other things available, then I think it just becomes so pure and it just becomes so much more fun. Like, it's the same as like when people talk about maybe a girl says to a guy, usually it's the case where they're like, oh, can we play poker? Like on, in your first date or whatever, and you're like, I can't really play for no money, and I don't want to rinse you. So they obviously want to play for free. But then you can't play for free, not because you want to win their money, but there's no pressure. How are you ever going to fold anything if, I don't care. I can't lose. I can lose chips, but I can't lose anything else. You just keep going all in, and no one would ever fold. That's why those games just become boring, because there's no pressure, no nothing, and so I feel like, re-entries are overall bad for the game. Obviously, it's better for, the people, running the place and stuff, but then again, it just comes down to, okay, is it really good long-term business? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Like, it's really hard to say. Like, I don't know, it's kind of like what happened to DTD at the very beginning. Maybe like they were just raking everything way too high. Yeah, they were making good business, but it became really short term. Like after 2 years, they were getting no games and stuff because they were just killing off the game way too quick. So I feel like that was definitely a big mistake from DTD, like being very business short-minded. So I mean the games are still running okay, but maybe the numbers would get higher if there were no re-entries. Who knows? But I definitely feel like it kills the overall poker game.
You go back like 15 years or so though, and like most things used to be a freeze out. There weren't really many re-entries or the day 2 entry or anything like that. And just as time's gone along now, everyone's just been able to fire multiple bullets in pretty much. Yeah,
but I feel like at least back then, like people enjoyed poker so much more because they're like, looking forward to it. I'm gonna do this once. Blah, 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 I mean, you definitely probably make less money, but then, you're enjoying it a lot more. I feel like that's probably more important, probably, if you're going to mix the two together. Like, enjoy a decent amount and make money instead of just making money and not really enjoying it.
You need to enjoy it as well. I think it's such a big part.
Yeah. I mean, especially 9 times out of 10, like, most of us played poker because we enjoyed it instead of the money aspect for sure. Like,
So James on the button here, going to open the King 9, makes it 2.5. Ben with Ace 4 here in the small, playing 22, 23 big blinds, just going to get out of the way. And Midi most certainly going to be continuing here with this hand. So they're going to come in for the defend, heads up to the flop. That's a nice flop for Midi here. Double gutter, flush draw. James going to be continuing this ace high board with his King 9. Does have backdoor flush draw in there with the King of Spades. How are you playing this, Tim? Like, most of the time?
I'm playing this as a check call. I feel like most people don't bet Queen X that often, so they just bet an Ace X or bluffs. So I just call and check raise a bunch of turns. They're going to think we don't have an ace and double barrel. And when they don't bet, as I said, they're having an ace or air, so when they don't bet, they just don't have an ace, so then we just bet later on. On this queen, I mean, you can lead, but I think checking is better when it's ace 8 queen queen. I think if it's a different card and queen queen, I'd probably lead, but ace 8 queen queen, And on the river, I'm just probably betting small. I mean, here we can just go all in if you want. Like, I sometimes would just jam. You could, well, maybe you don't need. I think I wouldn't want to go 30. I would just.
What, just jam?
I just go all in for 60k. Like
just
we have quads, he doesn't have quads.
Just because James is going to check back Queen X almost always on the flop, so.
And he would just bet Queen X on the turn, a high frequency, and or you can just choose very small. You can bet like 32, but then when you're betting 32, you're basically trying to make king highs fold. How often king high might look you up to a small sizing, so I mean you could just check, but. Yeah, I mean, going all in's fine, I think. I mean, you're risking 60 to win 10, but, like, you know, you're winning.
Almost always, like, almost.
So, you know, you're risking 6x, so, you know, it's... You're not only winning this hand, one in... What is it? I don't know, one in... I can't even think. One in 50... No. 1 in 6 times. You're winning this hand, like... I don't know. What... Every... Like 19 out of 20 times, probably, even more, probably. So I feel like you definitely make a lot of money. I mean, super rarely you get trapped sometimes, but you know, it's the person, if they've never really played with you before, they're probably not trying to trap you.
Yeah.
You know.
PK, the price pull up online. Yeah. Yeah, just so open from Chris, defend from Tom in the big blind. Flopping trips here, Chris with the king queen, snap checks behind. 9 of spades on the turn. So king queen with the check mark. And Chris wants to be coming in for a bet now. How are we doing? Wacky Jackson on Twitch. Tower, he's on a little wander at the moment. I'm joined by Tim Chunk for an hour or so for the first session, coming to do some comms, give some insight to the game. Afternoon, Kev, just tuning in. Yeah, Mark agreeing with you, saying that re-entries takes away the skill element of the game more. Afternoon, Mick the Mod just tuned in. Nicholas here, pocket 9s under the gun +1.
Yeah, like I just hear it too often where people are always like, you know, either BSing or just pretending to be like the good guy of poker, saying, oh, we want to do this for the recs, the recreationals and stuff, and I was like, well, you guys aren't really helping. You guys just want to play re-entry, so you guys don't really want to help. If you guys really want to help, then you guys want to make it a level playing field, no HUDs and everything. Then you'd make everything a freeze out. So I feel like anyone that's actually saying, let's try to help the recs, but not, making things freeze outs are just talking rubbish for sure. They're not making it a level playing field.
Midi going to open the King 5 suited in the cut-off, makes it 3k, 2.5x. And Carl just going to fold this one in the big blind, raise and take for Midi. Play much cash, Tim? Or you just
I mainly play cash.
Oh, you mainly play cash? Well,
Yeah.
I thought you were solely comp based.
No, I rarely play tournaments. Play probably once a month, if that. So I mean, given that I don't do too bad in tournaments, but I mainly play cash games for sure. Like 95% of my volume is cash games, both PLO and Hold'em.
So I never knew that about you. I thought you just travelled and played comps.
No.
I know you went to LA to play cash, but
I mainly play cash, and I travel for the comps sometimes just because it's bigger and potentially there's cash games too, and I guess mainly because UK games aren't amazing at the moment. So I mean, I gotta do some traveling and play some games.
So James opening ace 10 of hearts, and Nicholas going to defend in the big blind with 9-5 of diamonds. Got an action flop. Ace Jack 4, 2 diamonds, flush draw for Nicholas. James here with top pair. Continues for 1.7. Nicholas here should just be calling. Don't want to be raising on this particular board too often. Does make the call. Seven clubs on the turn. Expect James be coming in for another street of value a lot. The ace 10 here.
Yeah, and this should just be a fold now. Not getting the best price. Could have a worse flush draw. When we hit, we probably don't get paid either. So, I mean, I'd continue versus smaller size probably, but not for 6,500.
He does catch a 5 on the river. But James with the best of it with the ace 10. You think this is too thin to go for value here, Tim, or can we?
I mean, it doesn't look like it, but then you have to just decide. Even if you have the best hand so often, how often does he call with Jack X? That's the first thing you probably need to think about. And then, okay, we beat ace 9, ace 8, ace 3, ace deuce, but then obviously we lose to ace 7, ace 5, ace 4. Some weird, funky turn 2 pair which doesn't want to check raise. Some people don't check raise ace 4, so I don't think it's the worst check in the world. But if you
close, it is.
I think if you know your opponent better, like you can definitely be betting. But
Mark Physics says the argument, going back to the point about the re-entry, says the argument always been about some poor player that's travelled miles, gets his aces cracked by the king's first hand, and then can't obviously re-enter.
Yeah.
But I think a way around that, Mark. I think one re-entry per comp. I think that. It's when all these it's multiple, and you've just got some people firing double-figure bullets in tournaments. And
I think one is fair if you must. Yeah, but I wouldn't want to go more than that. I mean, I've definitely profited from re-entries, but I still don't like them, to be fair.
So Tom Hall here, ace-9 suited, 16 big blinds in the hijack. Just going to come in for an open. Is that a limp?
He might have limped, yeah. Like, Tom's kind of in my school, but like he does it from shorter stacks. I do it from very deep stacks. And that's mainly because I play cash games, so I'm just forcing people to basically play pots with me.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, people don't make... I mean,
I do quite a lot.
Yeah,
of
I mean, a lot of people, you know, are going to make mistakes, but then first the people that aren't, you know, are probably the tournament pros that, you know, they know what they're doing pre-flop, but then post-flop they're probably all over the place, especially versus limps as well. So I'm definitely gonna, you know, play more limps versus those players.
Yeah, yeah.
And versus other players, I'm just gonna play mainly a raising strategy.
Now Keith gonna bump it up out the big blind with ace queen, makes it 4.8k, and Tom
should just be folding, yeah. I wouldn't want a PO, I wouldn't want a limp jam. Yeah, I personally think this is a mistake from Tom. Like, I don't see Keith taking liberties that often. And if he is, you should probably just jam anyway. Like, most people are probably checking King Jack in the big blind versus the limp, so if he's bluffing, he's probably going to be in with an ace, and, you know. But then he's going to do it with his good aces too, so, you know. But then I feel like weak aces probably just checking as well.
Yeah, going to get himself in some trouble now as well, Tom.
Yeah, he's getting stacked here unless he turns a 9 or flush or straight, but... Yeah, I'm not really loving this sizing from Keith, to be honest. Like, you're basically forcing only an ace-x to call to continue, and that would regardless anyway, and you can stack him every time. But I think you're making 10x fold way too often here. Like, especially versus Tom, I think Tom would just probably fold 10x, and...
He's actually picked up some more outs to get there, but Keith now just going to be moving in with the ace-queen, you expect.
Yeah. And then Tom was a tough spot. I think Tom's going to call it off, but, you know, he's not going to love it. But I feel like, knowing Tom, he would call. I think I personally probably just fold. But I don't see Tom folding here.
Yeah, if we fold, we limit ourselves with sub-7 big blinds.
Okay.
Yeah. Then again, like, is Keith ever got a bluff here?
Rarely. It's going to be like
it's
King, Queen. That's it. But I don't see Keith choosing his sizings with King, Queen like this.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going 6 and then 8. He's either just jamming flop or betting like 3.5, leaving 11 or something.
Yeah, and it's a 4 of diamonds on the river, so we are going to lose. Tom Hall came in for the limp, the ace-9, called the race from Keith, and then just couldn't get away from it on the ace-high flop.
Yeah, so I think 2 mistakes from Tom there. I don't think he should be limp calling, and I think he should just... I mean, he can limp forward, it's totally fine. I don't feel like someone's going to exploit you there, and, you know... And I mean, if you're only going to limp weak stuff, then people would exploit you. So that's either an imperfection of your own strategy or whatever. But if you're limping good stuff, then I don't think people are going to go crazy against you. And I think he should just be folding the turn. You know, I mean, it looks like it sucks, but you know, you're just really never winning here.
So lost Tom Hall from the field.
And I feel like if Keith probably has like King, Queen, King, Jack, he might just move in pre. Like Tom just has like 16 bigs. The other guy has 24 bigs, but the guy's just completed in the small versus the limp. So, you know, he's just going to fold every single time. So I feel like King, Jack, King, Queen just gets jammed a lot if he chooses to play. I don't think he's raising. And yeah, so I just feel like it's just going to be really strong aces and big pairs a lot.
James making it 2.5 to go with the 7s under the gun. Carl Jack 10 suited in the cut-off here, going to be continuing.
Yeah, I think it's coming in for a free bet, which is okay. Yeah, it's decent. You know, you get to. It depends on under the gun, like, you know. It's definitely never a bad hand to do it with, but unless you get when you get 4-bet, then it's horrible. But yeah, this spot's pretty close.
Yeah, we're like 75 bigs deep here. Like personally, I don't mind a pill here from James, but looks like he's going to get out of the way. Just guess he has opened under the gun, and Carl's come in for the free bet, so maybe gives him a bit more credibility. A nice little pick up there from Carl with a Jack 10. What's your sort of thought process on like peeling pairs out of position when you open early position?
I think it just depends on my table. It depends who's free bet me, and I think early position and late position, it doesn't make a huge difference. I mean, like, it does a little bit, but I mean, like, how often is Carl gonna have King 5 suited? You know, just because I've opened middle position and he's on the button, like, probably not that often. Like, you know, if I know my opponent likes to choose like stuff like that, like King 5, you know, Queen 6 or whatever, then yeah, I'm not folding 7s, but I don't feel like most players are doing that now anyway, so I feel like they're just going to have, we're going to be flipping, or they have a big pair regardless of positions anyway.
Yeah.
If anything, this might even be better for us, you know, like, if he's got a good hand, like, you know, it's going to be ace king, and then if he's got a bad hand, I mean, if he's got another good hand, it'll be like big pairs, and we can crack those too, so. But then I think in other positions they're just going to have more stuff that you're probably guessing with, and you're not going to stack them that often when you flop a set as well. So I feel like probably under the gun versus button feels more comfortable than what people perceive it to be.
So we've got an all in here, blind on blind, ace 5 and queen jack for James, ace 5 for, I think it's Keith. No, it's a jack on the turn, so going to need to find an ace here. But it's a 7, and it's actually Andrew in seat 1, so we're going to lose Andrew from the tournament there, blind on blind, just over 16 bigs. All goes in, ace 5 and the queen jack.
I think it jammed like a bit more. Like
seat up in table 11, seat 1.
So yeah, let's have a look.
21 and 12, right? So it's about 18 and a half, 19 bigs.
Yeah, 21k.
Yeah, so it's about 18 and a half bigs. I think ace 5's a little loose. I don't think I'm calling that often. I mean, he's going to be shoving wide, but then, like, you know, his wide is basically like, you know, 40%. Sometimes he has a better hand too, and, you know, you're just flipping a bunch versus, yeah,
a lot of things.
Yeah, so it's just, I don't feel like you need to take that high variance of a spot in this specific tournament or whatever.
So Chris opening here, ace 10 under the gun +1, and James in the small here with queens. So Chris playing 23k here, so around 19 bigs. James here with the queens. Expect to see a free bet. He's just going to shove all in, so yeah, Ben's effective stack behind.
Yeah, I don't really love this. I mean, like, you know, it looks the most GTO play for sure, but then, you know, I think for specific opponents, you should just be free betting and getting value. Like, you know, they're not really going to put it in with ace jack. They're maybe putting it in with 2 9s. I mean, but then you lose a lot of value from the ace 10s, ace jacks, and random stuff like pocket 8s, pocket 7s that will probably call a small free bet, and then they don't want to fold because they have a pot size bet left. I'll probably just make it like 5k. Hope they call pots like 12 and then they have like 16 back. So, and then they expect it to continue every single flop. So then they're not going to go away on flops that often either. So I think I just go for an exploit small free bet.
We've got 10 minutes until the blinds go up first time today.
I mean, like, just ace 10 and ace jack, that's 32 combos already, so, you're just making these all fold. I mean, you can get 9s and 10s, but it's like 12 combos, and 10s probably just continues regardless anyway. 9s might choose the flatten option instead of the calling option, and so you're basically just targeting like 6 combos, so it's just like...
So another blind and blind here, all in. Ben shoving this in the small for 21 bigs, just under. And Middy's going to make the call of ace 10. Ace 4 deuce, so Middy on his way to potentially busting Ben. However, Ben does pick up some outs here. Chop outs as well for a deuce chop. And a club on the river, so Ben is going to get there. Runner flush, going to double up through Tom Middleton with the a6 of clubs.
Yeah, I feel like even then, like, it looks so standard. I mean, it makes money, but really, how much money does jamming a6 really make for 21 bigs? Like, very, very small. I mean, no disrespect to any of my players. I mean, it depends how confident your poker game is. If you think you're extremely good, then I would not be taking like literally at 1% edge or whatever it is. And fields are not tough. Tables looks okay now, and you're playing an hour clock. Like, a lot of online players, they get a lot confused, which is why a lot of online players don't do that well in live tournaments. Actually, I mean, some of them might look like they do well, but that's because they play every single tournament like 10 times as well. But realistically, they're probably losing or winning very small playing live tournaments, even the ones that look like they're winning. And then there are ones that are definitely losing, and they're just so used to like 10-minute structures online where the blinds are literally going up next orbit. Here, your blinds are not going up for like 3 orbits, and people are making a lot more mistakes. So I feel like, an hour clock with 21 big blinds is absolutely huge. But people just think, oh, I've got 21 bigs and a shove, but, and the solvers or whatever, you want to look at them, they say, yeah, shove or whatever, decent, but does the solver tell you it's an hour clock? If you're playing, okay, pretend it's a 3-hour clock, are you still shoving 21 bigs? Definitely not. But the solver's not going to go, hey, but in a 3-hour clock structure, you do not shove this. The solver just tells you whether it makes money or not, but the solver doesn't know. It's the same as, if it's a 1-minute clock, of course you shove,
Yeah.
But no one ever tells you about any of this, and, that's where I think, like, solvers are good for certain stuff, but definitely not amazing for tournaments. They're better for cash games for sure. For tournaments, they're like so-so, because they don't tell you, like, the structure, the field, your opponents,
So ace king for Nicholas here. Makes it 2.4 in Keith. Ace queen of hearts here.
I feel like solvers are mainly telling you how to not lose instead of how to win. Like, that's how I personally look at it. Like, you still need your own intuition and deviate from solvers and stuff,
So keep coming in with the free bet with the ace queen here. Nicholas will be jamming when it comes back round to him. Start the hand with around 28k.
Yeah, I don't really love this free bet from Keith. Like, you're not really getting action from worse, and now when this happens, you're just forced to call. And when he jams, you're just flipping. It's never going to be ace-jack, almost. Not often at all, anyway, unless you really know your opponent. And even if he has ace-jack, it means he has ace-king. But ace-king is every time, and ace-jack is not every time. So I think this free bet is a mistake from Keith for sure. You know, you're just making everything high variance, and the guy's probably folding king queen, queen jack, so it's not like you gain equity from that stuff. And I feel like, as I said, your opponents are making way more mistakes post flop than, you know, pre flop.
Yeah.
They're just not making that many mistakes, so, you know.
So 10 on the river, so the ace king of Nicholas is going to double up, and Keith back down below 50k now. Yeah, I understand, like, exactly in that spot. It's just one of them where if Nicholas does come in for the 4-bet rip like he did, we don't love it with the ace queen, and yeah, I much prefer a flat off against that stack size.
Yeah, and I mean, against guys who are like just peeling literally everything to a free bet, or, I mean, obviously, I mean, I guess you play cash games too, and like you see the guys that just don't fold anything pre, like, you know, you can just free bet this for value, and if they do shove, so be it, you know. But, you know, I feel like this guy is definitely not, and he hasn't really shown signs of it either, so I don't feel like you should be really free betting ace queen here. I think you should just be peeling. I mean, you peel good stuff too, so like it's not like you're like, oh, I've just flatted, so I don't have a good hand. And on that board, maybe you would have won as well. You know, you win when you have the best hand. You probably win sometimes when you have the worst hand too. And most people play pretty honest out of short stacks as well. So, like, you know, you don't have to worry about, you know, their traps or whatever that often versus randoms. I mean, versus good players, they'll have traps sometimes, but no disrespect to the other guy. I don't know if he's good or not, but I assume he's not a regular. So, you know, he's probably not just going to throw in some random traps after betting flop and then trapping turns and stuff.
Got Midi making it 3k with the queen jack and the cutoff. And Carl in the big here, king 6 off.
Yeah, I wouldn't really want to choose anything but a defend with this hand. If you want to be free betting, I'd free bet 9 deuce off. Yeah, folding is way too loose, way too tight.
Raise and take from Midi.
Yeah, Midi from the cutoff is going to be opening like queen 5 suited, queen 8 off, king 7 off, king 5 off, and stuff like that. Well, he should be. I assume he is too. And he's going to raise worse stuff, 10 jack off.
We saw him open king 5 a little bit before the
yeah,
raise,
sure.
So from the cutoff. Sorry, just catching up the chat box this afternoon, all. Yeah, Tim Chung is the man next to me. Afternoon, Sean, UK Poker Room. Chris, Jack 7 here on the button.
Yeah, this is just a fold for me.
It's just a shove for Chris.
Wow. Takes it down.
Gets it through.
Given all that said and done, this is my own opinion. I might be totally incorrect, but this is just my own opinion. And I do not claim to be a tournament professional, so...
So James here, that can't be right, can it? No, it's actually...
Ben's open with king 8 suited, I think. If I saw correctly. Yeah, it's king 8 suited. Yeah, again, I think that's
too loose.
Way too loose from that spot, and you know.
Midi free bet in the ace jack of clubs, and it gets it through. Afternoon, James, just tuned in.
Yeah, so like that spot, it's fine with ace jack off, but ace jack suited's playability is so strong, and you know you get some potentially maybe weaker players in as well, and you know you're not going to get it if you 4-bet jams. You have to fold, and you know as Ben's opening king 8 suited, yeah, he folds, that's great, but then you're probably making way more money if he continues. He's out of position with king 8 with a bad hand, and he doesn't know what to do, doesn't know what your range is, and then he's probably just going to make more mistakes. But you know he can't really make a mistake pre. He's just going to fold. Like, you know, you're not putting him. It looks like you're putting people into spots, but you're not really, because it doesn't. I mean, if you're free betting like ace 9 off, yeah, that's fine, because you couldn't really continue anyway, and then you know you could potentially get a better hand to fold. But I feel like ace jack suited is a bit of a waste. You can argue if you want to free bet ace jack off, but I don't think I want to free bet ace jack suited that often.
So both players here, the same hand, blind on blind, keep completing. James checking his option.
Like, free betting definitely makes money, don't get me wrong, like, but I feel like what a lot of poker players' mistakes are, like, they're like, oh, it makes money, so let's do this. But if you think about it in a poker standpoint or in a business standpoint, like, you know, you don't just look at one option and go, oh, I'm going to open my business here because it makes money. You're going to think, oh, what if I open it here? Does it make more money? You know, people just see one good option and they go for it. It's the same as when they play spots and they're like, oh, okay, I want to play a hand, and oh, I don't like jamming, I don't like folding, so I'll go all in. But then, you know, what if you started with I don't want to go all in, and then I don't want to jam, and then then you'd want to choose the last option as well. Like, everything would become your last option. People just think it's like deduction. It is kind of, but then like, why don't you try deduction in every single side first? If you just say no, doesn't mean this is yes, or no and yes, and sometimes it's this is no, but this no is better or whatever, and like, you know, people just assume 2 bad options, the other one's definitely good, but then you know there are better options, and it's like same as like peeling out the big blind. You know, you're going to be losing money, but which option loses you less money, etc. And people just get too caught up with, oh, ace jack suited free bet makes money, but does it make the most money? Maybe not.
Of course, you'll know, as like saying that you play cash like more than tournaments, like in cash games, like so many different options and pots to take, and like a lot of it can be down to who you're against as well, opponents in the pot. Not just about the old this looks like a good option, not thinking about anything else.
Yeah.
So top pair against top pair here, and it looks like Keith's going to go bet with the Queen 7. 8k into 20 on this river.
Yeah, seems fine to me. Seems pretty normal. Could potentially go smaller, given that we don't have a ton of bluffs here that often, so maybe you can go 2.36 and then 4, but
Too good, you two. Nearly out of the job.
Yeah, I'd have a kind of a coffee, please.
No, I'm good, thanks.
T-Boy's on the run. He's got his new job. Afternoon that quiet on Twitch. Afternoon guys get to enjoy a bit before going to the football. And Twisty Chow says A+ trolling from the commentary. It's just Tim giving his opinion on the hands. Like he said, you don't have to take it on board, but I'd suggest that you do. Man's got a very good resume in the poker world. I'm most certainly going to be taking it on board for me 2-3 tournaments a year.
What do you normally play then?
Just like the 25 Luton. And
you mainly play cash?
Yeah,
or?
yeah, just mainly cash. Which play cash tip of interest area?
I travel all around, so it's hard to say. But I mean, I live in Birmingham, so
okay.
We used to have pretty decent PLO games, so I play a lot of PLO there. But
Mainly PLO, or do you play Hold'em still? Or?
I'm better at Hold'em, probably. It's hard to say. Been working a lot on PLO and 6 cards now. I feel like I've played a decent amount where I feel like I'm better at Hold'em, but I feel like compared to the field, I'm much better at PLO.
Yeah, because you feel like you got a better edge PLO. Yeah.
And there's no silvers for 6-card PLO, let's say. So I feel like I'm ahead of the groove in that for sure.
Yeah.
And but you know, if the Hold'em's big enough, then I'd play Hold'em. But in general, if it's in UK, I'd play PLO just because there's not that much big Hold'em going on. And if there is, it's usually kind of boring. As I said, I kind of like action as well. So I don't care about making money as much as if I'm not enjoying it, then there's no point. So, but I'm in LA a lot. I play in Asia a bunch. And yeah, play some PLO online as well, but no Hold'em online. It's too boring.
Top man, thank you. Just for you.
Yeah, like if I'm going to stare at a screen for so long all day.
We'll give you a shout about 11 o'clock this evening. No, it shouldn't be long time. Whenever. Obviously, you started out Hold'em first before you delved into PLO.
What did I start off in? I started off playing Sit and Goes.
Sit and Goes.
Sit and
I
Goes.
started Sit and Goes as well on PKR.
Yeah, and then was playing mainly Heads Up Hold'em, cash, and then moved to 6 Max, and then dabbled around tournaments, and then so I guess that's helped because like Sit and Goes is like kind of short, so I was always pretty good at short stacking, and I was pretty good at deep, but then I was like kind of weak at like 30, 40 big blinds, but then like I just learned that it was mainly discipline and learning that wasn't going to be super hard, so then you know it was quite a good hybrid to like learn all of them. And then was playing a live cache mainly just because I really was not enjoying staring in front of the screen all day. Like it was bad for my eyes and wasn't really talking to people that often. And then I feel like you rage a lot more, you know.
What, online?
Yeah, for
I
sure.
agree. Oh,
you know, because like you don't have to feel polite.
Yeah,
and you just want to let it out, which is good in some sense. But then like you know, it's just that mental health issue, isn't it? Like whatever, you're just like swearing and this and that and throwing stuff and be like, what the hell is going on? And then you just tilt, and because you know no one's watching you, so you can just tilt and no one knows who you are.
Exactly.
Just do whatever you want, and then whatever, and then it just becomes bad, and you just don't want to sleep. You're just like, I'm playing until like whatever, and then you wake up in the middle of the day and you're like, or middle of the night, and you're like, I'm just play some online because I can't sleep, and then you're not going to be playing well. So I mainly started playing live. I felt like maybe even at one point, if I was making more money online, I was happy taking a small pay cut, or if it was even a pay cut, to you know just be more happy about playing poker, you know. And you know, like there was one point where I was playing live and I was probably not even losing 2 days in a row for like a year. Well, maybe not 2 days, maybe 3 days in a row, not for a year or 2 years, and so it was just making me more happy. Whereas online is like you can have like losing 2 weeks and like you're just pissed off, and you know. So I just felt like going home happy on whatever, you know. Which is why people care about breaking even so much in poker. Like, you know, if you're a professional, like, you know, you shouldn't really care about breaking even during the day. Like, you know it's a long-term thing, but you want to get out of the hole. Which so many people talk about getting out of the hole. Why do you want to get out of the hole? Because you want to feel happy. Yeah. So if you want to feel happy, I would not recommend playing online that often. Like, it's not going to make you feel happy.
Just going to cut the conversation short because we've got a Hamburger in here, Tim. Cole opening the queens, James flatting the nines and the cut-off, Ben with a king 10 suited on the button, and now Midi.
I can't even keep up. There's too many hands.
Yeah, Midi's got Jacks in the small blind here, free betting to 17.5k, and he's not going to be free bet folding.
Yeah, I think Carl's just going to click it here. I don't think he should jam, just in case.
Yeah,
James has a trap, you know.
Yeah, Midi's literally free bet 30% of his stack here, a third of his stack. So he's not going to be free bet folding the Jacks, and Carl now
he'll definitely have some free bet folds, but not with jacks, obviously, and just depends. I feel Carl might just jam, but I don't think he should, just in case.
Yeah, James is...
But I think Carl's recently been a bit more careful in these spots, so I think like he's just probably he might have learned and just start clicking it now. Yeah, I don't think you should just jam here. I think it's a mistake. Like, you know, you jamming and you making it 30 makes no difference, you know, but you avoid disaster when James actually decided to flatten monster, because you know there are a couple of short stats behind, so they can potentially squeeze. So he would have potentially some traps, and it's not like Carl's going to get James to fold ace king.
Yeah, of course.
So you know, jamming, I don't think.
Well, that's going to be that unless the old running 9-10 rolls off. But
2 9s are folded as well.
8 on the turn, and we're going to lose Tom Middleton from the tournament. Just quads on the river, and Carl is up to 167k.
Yeah, pretty normal.
How do you like handle the big swings in 6-card PLO? Because I know it can be like...
Touch wood. I've never really had big swings.
Yeah.
But
I know it's such... Well,
it's weird. It's one of those games where like... It's almost like playing an aggressive style in Hold'em. Like, you know... Your style looks really high variance, but it sometimes becomes lower variance. I don't really know how to put a finger on that, but... you know... You're all in a lot more, but then when you're all in with the best of it so often, then you know it just almost becomes like Hold'em, but you know just for bigger stakes. You know, it's just the same as you taking it down on the flop or whatever in Hold'em, but for smaller stakes. But so obviously when you're all in, it's basically like 10, 20 times the size. But if you're getting in really good very often, like your swings aren't really going to be that huge. But I feel like so many people play 6-card super badly. Like, you know, there's, I don't know, yeah, you probably won't even find one good player like in any casino pretty much. And the good players that people think are good are literally not good. It's not even me thinking I'm actually really good. They're just better than everyone else. But that's the key about poker, right? Like you don't have to be amazing. You just have to be better than everyone else.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. No disrespect to the people that win a lot of money. Like you know, if you're winning, yeah, you probably don't need to get much better. But you know, if you're playing against good players, you're going to get killed. But you know, I've definitely seen a lot of players that aren't that good, but they win a lot of money.
Yeah.
So it just basically lets you know, like, you know, how soft the games are. Basically, if you're just sitting down, you're like, oh my god, this guy wins chunks, but he's not even good. You know, that's a sign of, you know, where the game is where it's at. You know, Hold'em, there's obviously a lot of talented, really, really good players, but PLO there just really isn't. Like, I don't know if you've played any PLO tournaments before, but they are ridiculous. You know?
Yeah, I've played a couple of the sides. A few years back when on the GUKPT, that's the only really time it's
like PLO tournaments are extremely low variance. Like they look like, or it'd be much higher variance than tournaments than Hold'em, but it's so much lower variance. Like, you know.
So all in here, Chris shoving over the open from shout for just under 11 big blinds, and Carl with the 8s, going to ISO and coin flip situation. Going to have to find a jack now, keep our tournament alive. Do have running hearts with the King 10 here, so same scenario, jack needed, otherwise we are going to lose one. And it's a 10 on the river, 2 pair, no good. And Chris Flint heads to the route. Carl just shy of 200k now. Been a good 10-15 minutes for him.
Table 11, seat 6.
I've never properly delved into strategy as 6-card like PLO. Is there a lot more behind it then, or? Because like the thing I thought about
in actual discussion, maybe not, but it depends how good you are naturally at games. Obviously, like, you know, so many people, they're good at Hold'em, but they're probably only good at Hold'em. Like, not even just talking about poker, but like maybe they're not good at anything else except poker. You know, so they've just studied this one specific game really, really well. But if you're naturally like pretty good at games, you just figure out a lot more stuff a lot quicker.
Yeah.
And whatever games you are, like, you know, sports, pool, or whatever, board games or whatever, and, you know, PLO is no different. It's like, you need to have your own intuition, you need to have your own logic, figure out what people are doing, what people's mistakes are, and then, you know, find extra spots to bluff. Like, people are, like, bluffing a lot less, and I'm just bluffing way more, or whatever, and I'm just picking up a lot of money where people aren't. Like, you're just finding where people aren't winning money. Like, that's the key to poker or Hold'em, right? Like, you know, how are you better than someone else? Because you lose less money when you have the worst hand, you make the most money when you have the best hand, and PLO is no different, I guess. Like, you just have to find ways where you should be extracting more, or ways to lose less in whatever spot, whether it be pre or post or whatever, or ways you can bluff more, you know. If people aren't making that much money from bluffing, then maybe you should deviate into that type of strategy and figure out, okay, let's focus on that instead. But I feel like mainly because there's no solvers, there's no strategy, so people just aren't improving.
Yeah.
And because everyone's so bad in general that, you know, they just think I win. Most people, they don't look at their own game when they're winning.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how people are.
Yeah,
you know, live poker players especially, like, you know, they're not studying because they beat the games.
Yeah.
It's not because they think they're really good. They just think, oh, I'm winning. Like, why do I need to? Like, people don't slap themselves in the face until they start losing a bunch of money.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, same as even like the top guys probably.
Like,
whatever.
you get in that comfort zone. You're playing these games, you're beating these games.
That's what I mean.
You just get so comfortable. You don't need to. You think you don't need to put the work in anymore.
Yeah. So in PLO, like, 6 card, not only that people can't really study about it, like, people aren't going to talk. Like, honestly, who's talking about, like, I think in this spot we should have done, like, in 6 card PLO, no one's talking about that. People just say, oh, you had a gut shot, flush draw, wrap, and all in. You know, they don't talk much into it. They're like, almost as if you're a fish, like, yeah, standard, normal, all in, yeah. Like, you know, they don't really deviate into, like, deep strategy or anything. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't talk to anyone about PLO either. Like, you know, I'm not saying no one's at that level, but, like, no one's ever approached me about talking PLO stuff, or people don't assume, they just assume I don't play PLO, and I just dabble PLO for fun.
I assume you didn't really play much cash. I just thought you, like, played comps before today, and it's just one of them things. But so blind and blind here, Nicholas with the best of it, just 10 high for Keith. Going to check Keith with 10-4 hit.
Yeah, I would have liked to see Keith take a stab pre or on the turn for sure. Like, I don't see this guy trapping on this specific texture, you know, 8, 9, 3, 5, 2 hearts. You know, people just aren't trapping. Like, you know, he'll bet an 8, he'll bet a 9, he might have a 3, might have a 5, but then you can probably get that off after 2 barrels anyway, and that's if he has a 3 or 5. If he's having a 3 or 5, he's going to have, like, you know, some king 10s, king jacks, and ace x, and queen 7, like, just a lot of bad stuff, you know. So you're only worried about a 3 or 5, really, and 3 might just fold. So if you're scared of a 3, maybe you can just go for a larger sizing on a turn, and just go for one shot. But yeah, I think Keith should just be stabbing there. But I would probably choose to raise pre.
A7 suited for Nicholas on the button. Making it 3.2k to go. Gary going to be defending in the big. Queen Jack 9 Rainbow. Top 2 for Gary. Action on Nicholas here. Just ace height. He's going to continue this board. At 2k. So less than a quarter pot here. Gary here with top 2. Looks like he's counting out raising chips, so going to try and start getting value from his top 2 here on the flop, but Nicholas just got a hand that not going to be able to continue with it. They're asking for you.
Who's that?
Where's your treble?
Oh, forgot about it. It's been on since Thursday. Towers Treble's been written down since Thursday.
Hope you had Brighton under 2.5 goals.
Towers Treble, I better write it down in the chat box, so I'll get on the case right now. It's alright, I've got a laptop. I can multitask. I can speak and type at the same time. Learned that over the years. Oh, I've been listening in the room. I think I might have lost my job. Good stuff. Have we got Towers Treble? Yes, we have. Very shortly. Coming up with it. The nap of the day is 7 to 5. Oh, it's a delicious 7 to 5.
Afternoon, Mel. Towers Treble on the way.
You playing the 250, Tim?
No, I'm not.
I know you don't do tournaments. I've been listening. I don't know. There's nothing gets past me.
I do tournaments every now and then. No, it's too late, and it'll be a long day. So.
Yeah. It will. Somebody came up with a good idea earlier on. In fact, you were Spuddy, who were eliminated from seat number 7. 6 or 7.
6, yeah.
Yeah. And he was saying that if the ladies' event was today instead of tomorrow, his wife would have come. If he'd have bust out the main, he'd have stayed for the 250.
It's
and
true.
she'd have played the ladies if they'd had it at 6 o'clock, sir.
That's true, yeah. That would have been a better idea.
So maybe that's something for the organisers to consider. Is that if the guys bust out and they want to stay at the 250, get the partners involved.
Yeah, we definitely get it in, yeah.
And the numbers would increase. But
Yeah,
now
100%.
somebody says, well, I'm just going home now.
Yeah, 100%.
So, interesting. How many are left? There was 88 the last time we saw, in the original 110. 110. I'm just about to post Towers Treble, and we'll stick it in the chat boxes, and we'll win fortunes. Fortunes we're going to win.
Fortunes?
Yeah, we're going to win fortunes today. This is going to be it. Ludo put a nice tweet on earlier on. That's Grosvenor. He says this has probably been asked before in the years. Has the tower ever missed a GUKPT? So I had to reply. And at this moment in time, the answer's still no.
Never missed
Touching
one.
wood.
Unbelievable.
Touching all kinds of wood. And then Ludo put the unbreakable, the John McClane unbreakable, Bruce Willis. So no, it's we have been very lucky.
a king 10 for Gary here. Going to open on the button. James gets out of the way. And Ben 9-5 off here. In the big blind's going to fold. Raising take for Gary. Yeah, Mark Fizz is going on. Terry wants a freeze out event for next year. Or
Just try to get one freeze out event next festival. That's a good shout. I like that, freeze outs. I know it's all about. Sometimes it's all about the money, but I don't like the idea of a freeze out. The problem with the side events on a freeze out is that a lot of the side events don't get a guarantee. If they stuck a 5k guarantee on a £100 comp, maybe I think that might just hit the nail on the head. Or even a 150. Would people revert back to freeze outs? You wouldn't travel 300 miles and play a freeze out, would you, Tim?
Wouldn't travel 300 miles to play re-entry.
Well, fair enough.
No, but I think I would if I would. I don't think it would change how far I would travel, to be honest. Because there's still other stuff going on. It's not like there's just one tournament you're going home, right? Like, there's potentially cash games, maybe a side event or whatever, like, you know. But I think if you are to do freeze outs, it'll have to be like, you know, kind of a festival.
Yeah.
You know, if like, you know, whatever, I don't know, whatever tour it might be, or Dust Till Dawn or whatever, like, it'll have to be like, you know, a few other things going on, you know. Then, you know, who has the excuse of like, oh, I'm travelling this far just to bus, you know.
Yeah, I like the travelling aspect of it, like.
Yeah, because I mean, you can travel far, you
yeah.
can bus 3 times, you
Yeah.
can still bus 3 times, and it costs yourself more money as well. But I mean, no matter what you choose, you're gonna feel shit. Like sometimes, you know, maybe I travel 300 miles and I bus 4 times.
Yeah,
like, you know,
yeah.
You know, it's only unfortunate when it happens to you. You know what I mean? But when you win with one bullet or whatever, or you have fun, then yeah, it's good. Like, you know, it just sucks when it sucks, but when it's fun, it's fun.
Afternoon Mendiva in the chat says Big Blind Ante is now standard in most comps, which quickens the games. Is there a case to follow in bigger stake games and introduce a stop clock for 30 seconds? I don't think we're ever doing a shot clock in GUKPT.
No, there's never. I don't think anybody's even talked about it.
No.
It's something nobody's ever mentioned.
Other casinos and
I know we've seen on TV and we've seen on bigger comps. Yeah. I'm not too sure.
What's your opinion on that, Tim? Shot clocks?
Like, I'm usually pretty fast, but then there are some situations, even for me, like, I feel like it's a bit too quick sometimes.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's one of those where, like, you know, as I said, there are things that are good and there's things that are bad. Like, you know, it's hard to cater for everyone, and then, you know, it's hard, you know, to weigh out the real pros and cons for it, to be honest. I feel like it depends on the tour. Like, you kind of need a decent sample of yourself. Like, you know, if it moves fairly quickly and smoothly in general, like, I think these do.
Yeah.
So I feel like, you know, I don't feel like in this tour specifically you need them.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I definitely feel like in those high rollers or whatever, you definitely need them because everyone's taking way too long to become slow, and then, you know, if everyone's so similar as a player, then you need to find an edge somewhere. Like, you know, like, I don't know, for example, like if you play Chinese poker open face or whatever, you know, like if 2 people are very similar level, it just becomes extremely boring. Like, you need a shot clock. Like, when I play with my friends, we include shot clocks playing Chinese poker, so that you, like, you know, this is where we're trying to find an edge of somewhere. Whereas in these ones, like, you know, you need to cater for everyone, this and that. So I feel like, you know,
I remember filming the first ever Chinese poker tournament in Macau, and they had a 2-minute clock for everybody. You literally had 2 minutes to make your hand, and if your hand wasn't set, it was tough.
Oh, yeah.
It was great. It was so fast. It was like, oh my god, what am I doing? It was really good.
Or I feel like, you know, if you want to do shot clocks, maybe they can do it differently. Like, everyone thinks like 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds, or 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute. Why don't you just have a 2-minute for this whole hand, and you decide where you want to spend your time on? Like, if you feel like your pre-flop decision is that hard, that means it's probably going to be all in. So you spend it on the pre-flop. But then if you're quick pre, then you get more time post. Like, I feel like that way is probably better than doing it 30 second, 30 second, 30 second. Like, you know, because most of the tanking is probably during pre anyway. So I feel like, you know, if you know, you just save up your time banks, I feel like that's probably better. In my opinion, I think.
Tune into the GUKPT Manchester 317 runners total. 110 started day 2. Tim Chung's been with us from the start of the day today.
Yeah, we've got half hour left of this session, and we will go out on the first 15-minute break of the day. Pocket sixes for Keith makes it 3.6. So Shao here, Queen Jack suited in the small blind. Shao playing what is around 17, 18 big blinds. And just gets out of the way with the Queen Jack suited in the small, facing Keith's early position open, and Keith's going to get that one through with the sixes. Fairly close that for Shao. Obviously thinking about ripping the Queen Jack.
Palace 1-0.
Lines 8-16, level 2 of the day, level 12 of the tourney. 7 buy-ins at the start. How many getting paid, Jay?
28 places paid. 30.
Turnover, PTO.
Turn the page over.
Oh, who's done the night bot? Oh, eh? Who's done that? Is it correct?
Yeah. There's 30 places on that, but I've been reading the sheet. I didn't even realise the night bot had 30 on there. Just under 10% of the entries paid. Nicholas here with Ace King in the
I like the
blind.
squeeze.
Gonna raise it up.
Yeah.
And Carl obviously can't continue with 8 deuce.
Is that Carl bracelet winner?
Yeah.
Do you know what number event he won last year at the World Series?
It was the second last one.
I was astounded.
Number 144.
No, we don't have that many
let's
in
not
the
go
World
that
Series.
quick.
I know you've never been, but I'm sure you watch it. It was number 89.
89.
Which I didn't even think. I'm sure the year before there was like 65.
Yeah. They added a lot of online legs though, so yeah. And a few more of the smaller ones.
Event number 89. Carl Shaw won. For $606,000.
Not bad payday, that.
Which at the exchange rate last year was nearly 600 grand, because the exchange rate was terrible. So it's like a pay, you play over in Vegas when the exchange rate's bad. It's like a pay rise.
Well,
I'm gonna stay for my last hand.
Yeah,
and
oi,
it's
oi.
gonna be all in. 30 bigs. I mean, I'd probably preferably prefer a flat here, to be honest. You know, we're not really inducing action from that much worse.
Shoves for 30 bigs with the
I think jam's way too much. Like, you're not getting action from 10s, really. So, you know.
Ace King and better pairs,
Yeah,
that's it, isn't
so
it?
you're basically wasting jacks. Your jacks is basically deuces, except you block jacks, but that's it. Yeah, that's literally the only thing. You having jacks just blocks jacks. I definitely would not be jamming here.
Off to the races. Jay?
You know, me too.
You know the Ace King?
Yeah,
I'll get my pound ready that you already owe me. This could be 2. Ho ho ho, 433. Well, you rivered me yesterday. You're going to need to river me again.
Like one of them really good rivers here, Tower. 5 on the end, so Jack's will a double, Ace King.
Get your hand in your pocket,
No
son.
good for Gary.
Thanks, Tim.
Cheers, Tim. Yeah,
Been an
that's
absolute
really,
pleasure.
really
Been listening
insightful, really
been
insightful.
listening on the Twitch while I've been
Yeah,
sat
thanks
with
very
Ian
much.
Bryan. thanks ever so much. That way be good. And your bag's behind you. Top man. Nice one, Tim. Cheers, Tim. Let me tell you. He knows his stuff. Former GUKPT winner Tim Chung for the first hour and a bit.
Should we have a look at what's going on the outer table?
Go on, let's have a look.
What's going on. Who we got?
Well, I've seen some big names. Brandon's come as Doctor Who. There he is. He's the new Doctor. Just come out of the TARDIS, straight in.
Brandon Chills.
Yeah, he's got a stack as well. And when he's got chips, he's a little bit dangerous. So it's... who's that in disguise? Is that Minji? Look at that's a nice little stack. I like all the lines saying there's a bit of OCD going on right there.
Look at that, even there. We've got the old zoom into the chips.
The stack there of about 120,000.
There's old Diver.
Diver, that's directly behind Rebecca. There's Rebecca's hair on the in the leather jacket. Diver's going on strong. Got a nice treble up yesterday on the feature table if you were watching.
Sam Grafton, Squid Poker on Twitter.
Yes, the squid. It's out of the way. But it's a bit of a short stack there, looking less than about 12,000. Vinny Mustn't from Blackpool. Stato still in. Chris Howden's still in. Dan Stacey's still in. That is a table. That is a table. And I actually think that might be the next feature table. Nice one, Fizz. Best 2 hours of comms ever. Well played, guys. That's it. I'm quit.
Cheers, Fizz.
I'm off. He was good.
I had him next to me, so I thought I'd ask him loads of questions.
That's the way. See, you're learning while you're commentating.
Why not? That's
the way to do it. You commentate and you learn at the same time. That's what I do. Only I don't get any better. Cheers, Fizz. Thanks for that.
Oh, it's great. It's great talking to, because I speak to a lot of like the really good UK crushers, like off the tables and whatnot at the bar area, and like people like they all have different insights, and just getting all these different insights on the game and how to play it, and it's really good to hear. But Keith, I'm going to jump back into the action because Keith has got King Queen suited in the small here. 3-bet Nicholas's button open to 8.5k. It's fairly small size here out of the blinds. Would have expected him to go more around 12k remit, but very small 3-bet sizes from Keith. Action back on Nicholas here, now getting 3-1 on a call. But I'm not sure. Nicholas is going to be continuing here.
So the 3-bet's at 8.5. Nick's not calling this, is he? On the button. I think he's folded, isn't he? I don't think Nick Forlorn is he? What's he doing with it? Are his cards under his hand or not?
Yeah, they're under his hand, but like after all this posturing and...
Why has he turned up as Andy Pandy?
Andy Pandy.
Why? Just you won't know who Andy Pandy is. You're far too young.
I know who Andy Pandy is.
You're far too young. Why did you turn up as Andy Pandy? Well, it was actually a raise from Keith in seat number 9 that gets that one through. So Nick had folded, and it looks like Keith came in for the raise in seat number 9. Keith Johnson. Well, I know he will.
Aidan Sykes says, is Ali Malou still in? Was he still in when you was out there, Tower?
Yes. I'd like to say yes. I wasn't really looking for Ali Malou, but don't think he was out. Rebecca Rostron got a full double. Up to 70,000. A full double. Aces versus nines.
Always nice when the aces hold.
Absolutely.
No one likes to bust a tournament with aces.
So Keith winning the last hand off Nick Filoni. Thanks to Tim for the first couple of hours of the live stream. Welcome one and all if you're watching for the first time today. GUKPT Manchester started the day with 110 runners, 7 buy-ins today. Brandon Shields was one of them. And as we saw on that
chips
on that video just then, and the little pan, Brandon had over 100,000. John Bousfield, who also bought in, was still in. He doubled up early doors to 42, but then was back down to about 20. So he's quite active. Bin Fu, Chris De Silva bought in. Leo Faraday also bought in. James McLean and Yu Wu. They're the guys that bought in today at 11:45.
Like it, Tower. On the ball out there.
Yes. So,
both players flop in at a top pair here, and 10-8's actually going to raise for top pair. Always talk about raising top pair. It's a bit different blind on blind. Ranges are very wide. James can potentially get a value from a lot of worse hands here. So did come in for the raise with his 10x, but Gary obviously not going to be going anywhere with the Queen 10. And James now wary after he does get called, and the river is the ace of spades. So I think if we're Gary here, want to come in for some value here, blind on blind with the Queen 10. James shouldn't really have much ace-x in there. Ace-x of clubs, obviously a hand he can have, but ace-x of clubs is probably going to raise out of the big blind a lot pre-flop. So be nice to see Gary come in for thin value here on the end. Like this a lot from him. This is really good. And now James going to be in the spot with the 10-8, because flush draws bricked, 8-9's bricked. Hands like Jack 9, Jack 8 with backdoor spades that would pill, and he shouldn't really have an ace a lot of the time here. So this is a tough spot from James from his perspective, because Gary, it's very difficult for him to have an ace-x type hand, and James basically needs to deduct whether Gary's good enough to come in for thin value with a hand like Jack 10, King 10, Queen 10 in this particular spot. And James makes the call, and Gary going to show the Queen 10, and it's a very, very nice value bet on the river there, Tower, that.
Kevin Jackson. Hi guys, I'm a bit confused. Luton have now made their 25-25 events in March and April 25-50 events, which is good, but you have 2 tickets. Right, well done. And so can I have 2 25-25 value, £225 each, so you can use 1 ticket and pay 20? The 25.50 is exactly the same buying, isn't it? I was led to believe. Surely the 25.50 just means it's 220.
The same buying, just bigger guarantee.
Oh no, it's just slightly. Oh, right, I get it. It's slightly increased. Don't know why it's increased. To be fair, the 25.25 is the same as the 25.50, but with a 50 guarantee instead of 25. Not sure why the buying's a little bit different. But you're right, Kev. It's 225 for a 25.25 and 250 for a 25.50. Slightly strange. But I will ask the question, if they have changed them and you've already won seats, when are the dates for the 25.50? Luton, 11th to the 50th. Okay. So 11th to the 50th, they're brand new. Right. Don't know when they were changed. Have you any idea when they were changed, Kev? We will try and find out for you if you can actually use it and just add the extra. If they've changed it since you've won a seat, then maybe you should. Back to the action, because the 8's against the ace 10.
Keith with the 8s, Chow with the ace 10, ace high flop.
That'll do nicely.
9 on the turn, so just fading an 8, and Chow will double up.
Yeah, indeed he does. Indeed he does. So there are two 25.50s, one in March and one in April. And then there's the GUKPT Luton coming up as well. Luton's busy. I will ask the question. I'd like to say yes, but I'm not too sure that'll be the right answer. So at the break, in about 15 minutes' time, we will ask the question if you can use a voucher for the 25.50 that it is now, because it's been changed at a later date. We will ask the question for you. It changed today. Right, okay. Well, I'll ask the questions. We will ask the questions. Ben 3 bets to 12,000 with the Queens.
Yeah, these guys around 65 big blinds deep, effective. Back on Carl here with the 7s. Ben 3 betting out the small blind. And it looks like Carl's going to peel, see if he can potentially flop a set and win a big pot.
It's 10-3.
No help for the 7s of Carl. Still expect Ben to continue this. Ace higher. Don't have to go big, we can go somewhere around the 7-8k remit here. Definitely want to be going smaller than our original 12k free bet here. 9k is fine, and that should be that for the pot. Can't see Carl calling with 7s here. have to let this one go. He hasn't insta-folded in this spot. Might be thinking about potentially making a play, but just think in this particular scenario we're going to find a much better spot throughout the day, and eventually after some deliberation Carl does let this one go.
Ten minutes to go until the end of the first session. This session's flown by. Seems like about 20 minutes.
It's alright for some, ain't it? It's alright for some. Oh. It's alright, I've got John Virgo coming in for you next session.
Oh, that'd be great. Tell you what, if you turned up. Where's the white ball going?
Carl raising to 3.5k under the gun.
Our bracelet winner. Carl Shaw. Big stack as well, 164,000. Nick Filoni with the fives. Looks like a call.
Shao going to defend this 5-3 suited here in the big blind. Obviously in a crush spot against the fives of Nicholas. He's not to know that. There's the call. Three-way action to the flop.
King Jack 2.
So Carl, Broadway draw. 2 overs to the fives of Nicholas. Nothing here for Shout at all, and Carl's continuation bet looks like it's going to be the end of this hand.
$25.25 next week is in Glasgow. And
the week after,
5 deep stacks this week. Next week
4. There was 5 on Thursday, but now there's. I was looking today, and there's only 4 up there now. Reading's been taken off.
Has it?
Yeah, so no Reading.
No Reading for the deep stacks.
I believe it's Liverpool, Huddersfield.
Yeah, keep going. Yeah, you're going to have to touch that screen, aren't you? No, I thought it was imprinted.
It's been imprinted a week. I don't know where it's gone. It's just gone today. My head's gone.